name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So I remember, what was it? Must have been a good 15 years ago, maybe 20, maybe 10. I don't know. Sometimes this is what happens when you get older, right? You have things happen in the past, and when there's more past, you just kind of get jumbled together. It was sometime in the last 30 years, okay? Sometime in the last 30 years. I was watching this really interesting documentary on Alan Moore, who I love Alan Moore's work, comic book writer, well, former comic book writer Alan Moore, called The Mindscape of Alan Moore. And there's one thing he said in it that just blew my mind, and it has been proved to be so incredibly true. And now this was before the age of internet, right? I think internet was around, so it's around like the 2000s, but before the age of mobiles, before the age of iPhone, right? It was before an iPhone. So he had this theory that if you take all the data that's created in the world for the first 1,000 years, right, every bit of data, to create that same volume of data is going to take half the amount of time, so it'll be 500 years. And then if you take that same amount of data again, it'll take you 250 years. And take that same amount of data again, it'll take you 125 years. And take the same amount of data again, it'll be, 62 and a half. And it keeps getting smaller. So the longer the world's been in existence, the more data gets created and the more quickly. So when you see data turning from like things like stone and wood, where to write a Bible, right? People like monks would work on that for like 2 or 3 lifetimes, right? Like, it'll take a long time to create some data, right? Hammer and chisel, hammer away, and things get quicker and quicker and quicker. And this was before the age of social media, right? Which he completely accurately predicted. He said that, we're at a tipping point where data's going to start created so quickly. We're going to see data turn from like wood to stone to water, which is where they were then, to steam, to something they can't even imagine, which is where we are now. Like the complete knowledge of the world is being recreated every second, like every nanosecond. It's like blows my freaking mind. So what's the point of that? Interesting though it is, what was the point of that introduction? Say that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of news about, right? Was it? So Matt Stevens gave an interview a couple of weeks ago. Matt Stevens, the erstwhile producer of Doctor Who has done not a great job, but thinks he's done a fan-freaking-tastic job. So there's been lots of articles coming out on that, and I haven't been able to catch them all. And there was another one which from John Bishop, which I wasn't able to catch. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to do a media sphere video, right? I think I'm going to do more of these where I just crack the things I missed, put them together, because all this stuff is worth talking about. There's too much stuff being made for one fat rabbi in a basement to deal with. I was like, for the entire world to go, no, it's just me, right? It's just me, okay? So this is why. Fine, before we get into the video, can you like, share, subscribe, comment? All those things are freaking awesome. YouTube hates you doing all of them, which is one great reason to do it. And if you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button, baby. Rumble for me. If you're subscribed, make sure you're not unsubscribed. If you're on Rumble, you're not going to be unsubscribed, I can virtually guarantee you're not going to be unsubscribed. If you're on Rumble, you're not going to be able, but YouTube, make sure you're not unsubscribed. If you're not subscribed, if you can consider doing that, that'll be lovely. Thank you. I do very, very much appreciate that. Also, go check out my Substack. It's a email newsletter. Sign up for it. I'm putting out like vintage comic strips that are out of print. I put out a Blake 7-1 earlier this week. I'm going to put out more of them, right? I'm really enjoying that, so putting that content on. Plus, you get all the update about all my content, which I make lots of, proving the point I made in the beginning of this video, a whole 4 minutes ago, right? Proving that point I made all that time ago, if you can remember that far back. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let's look at this first thing, right? This came out 3 days ago, and I laughed. I was gonna, actually, okay, you gotta find it. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I was on a Comicsgate UK podcast where they talked about the most shameful things you've ever done. And I told the headline. I told about a news story that I giggled when I saw the headline. I'm not going to tell it because it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. This isn't that, but I did giggle when I saw this headline. Let's have a look. Doctor Who's John Bishop admits regret over BBC role Joined at the wrong time. Yeah, really, mate? Really? You've only just working this out now. Listen, I think you're going to be fine, John. Right? I think you're going to be fine. You're a comedian, right? So you can take the piss out of it. But I don't think that's what he's talking about, right? But I do think, yes, you did join at the wrong time. That is true. I think you joined at the Jodie Chibnall time, which, let me check the time. It's Jodie Chibnall time. It means it's the wrong time. I'm not wearing a watch, okay? Jodie Chibnall time means it's the wrong time. So let's see what he's got to say here. Doctor Who star John Bishop admitted that he had regrets when taking the role in the hit BBC show, as he felt it was at the wrong time. Yes, I can understand what you're saying, baby. I completely get it. Okay, so why did he say, because Jodie Whittaker's, I'm doing Jodie Whittaker voice, kid, Jodie Whittaker's crap like, is that what he's going to say? I don't know. But my impersonation is absolutely terrible. Right, if you have to compare them to the people, I think I try and put a mental image in your head of the person I'm caricaturing, right? So I think that works. John Bishop was joined by Courtney Cox. Oh, lucky old John. Well, Courtney Cox. I was going to say lucky old John Bishop, but that would have been Courtney Cox of about the time I saw that Alan Moore documentary, about 20 years ago. And Hugh Bonneville on Saturday night for his a new episode of his ITV chat show. Wasn't that Jodie and Mandibon, right? You would have thought, right? You would have thought. While talking to the stars about the biggest project in their career, John touched on his experience on Doctor Who cast, revealing his regret about the time he joined the show, admitting it was the wrong year. So what year was the right year? John said, when we're talking about global franchises, you've got Friends, you've got Downton Abbey. Doctor Who is, for me, a big deal. It was a big deal for most of us, too. Actually, it's still a big deal, in all fairness. And it's brilliant. Oh, I'm glad you like it. And I got into it. But I got into it in the wrong year. So what happened? What made it the wrong year? The year I got in, it was COVID, and we had big scenes like my whole character was basically running around with a wok with these aliens called Sontaras. Actually, that bit was quite good. See, here's the thing about Doctor Who Flux. If you were channel surfing and you blinked at it, it didn't look that bad, right? It looked like Doctor Who until you saw Jodie Whittaker and you went, "What's going on? What's going on? It's too weird." I mean, Doctor Who, I'll do a year in Doctor Who, and then I spoke to people who have been in and said, what do you do? What do you mean? He's a comedian. And then I spoke to people who had been in it and said, what do you do? Because obviously it's miserable in January and February. You go off to South Africa or somewhere to create a new landscape, a new world. Okay, so he wants to go on vacation, I think. Okay, because obviously it's blah 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 blah. I got it in COVID years. Merithil Tadlif. I spent 2 weeks in a cave in Merithil Tidfil. What the hell's that? Why was in it? What episode was in a cave? I can't really remember. I don't. Who cares? Really, who cares? That was my experience shooting on location. That's the only thing you shot on location. But the other thing was I found as well, because I had never done anything like that. I had done a little bits of acting, but I never done anything that was established. Listen, mate, we kind of got that impression. That time you were able to like walk left around a Dalek and not be exterminated by. Although, and again, if you are developmentally challenged, I mean no offense by this term, they were retarded Daleks. You know, the Daleks of. Eve of the Dalek. I so thought, what's the name? Aisling B's character was going to be called Eve, right? I really thought that was going to happen. No, that would have been clever. The stunts and positional stunts in the show, I kept getting told off because I didn't realize falling over is a stunt and there's a risk assessment. See, this is really what I hate about the current world. Really, it's like everything has. I mean, I understand you don't want people to get hurt, but like, You know, like, was it so bad that Tom Baker broke, his collarbone in some Sontaran experiment? Well, seemed to keep on turning, and he seemed fine for the experience, right? I mean, I understand it was probably painful. He probably went to the pub and had 2 or 3 skinfuls. they got over it. Would be my guess. There's a great article in the Times. I'm toying around with the idea of paying for it. But okay, here's what I hate about newspaper websites, right? Where you have to, why can't I just buy the freaking issue? Like, if it's connected to that day's issue, charge me for that issue and give me access to that bloody issue. So I can read it. It's about Tom Baker on the piss in the 70s. That sounds like a great interview. I'll be up to hearing that. But I don't want to subscribe for a month and then cancel and, like, just leave me alone with it. Bullcrap. Stop trying to rip me off. You know, just take the money for the newspaper. And look, I'm sorry your industry's going under, right? I'm sorry the industry's going under. Nothing to do with me, mate. Don't try and fleece me because of it. So he's not allowed to fall over. Last year, John Bishop bid farewell to his character in Doctor Who. No, he didn't. He's in 2 more episodes. As he reflected on his brilliant experience on the show, posting a video on social media, said, well, that's the wrap. Okay, he finished writing it. Nearly a year of my life, I wasn't expected to do it at all. It's been okay, fine. Who cares? Bit of a non-story, really, blimey. They pay you by the word? What's up with that? Fine. This is why I call this video Mediasphere. Much more interesting is the next one. I mean, really, I thought it was going to say, because Jodie Whittaker and Manny Gill are the worst ever. Right? Like, don't you wish he had said that? Never mind. So here, let's look at this next article. Let me scrunch this down a bit, because this one got my attention. This one got my attention with its ridiculous headline. Doctor Who producer debunks struggling ratings claims. No, I think more accurately, YouTuber debunked bullcrap ratings where they printed the wrong metric in Doctor Who magazine. I think that's the article, the title that you wanted, right? Doctor Who producer Matt Thraventh has gone on record to refute the claims that ratings for the show and the Jodie Whittaker have been struck. What do you mean refute? It's math! You moron! It's now I've got to open the rating chart. Really? It's just math. God. Hang on 1 second. Now I've got to find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, 11 to 13. There we go. I mean, really? Like, how are you going to refute this? Okay, I guess we're going to read the article to see them not do that, right? Yeah, I don't know why. I read the headline, and I thought for some reason the article has to connect to that headline. Now I'm realizing, well, that's cray-cray. No, they don't. No, they never have before. While the races are opening up, I'll start reading. Doctor Who producer Matt Stevens has addressed the claims. It's not a claim! It's not a claim! Oh, yeah, fine. Here. Let's look at this claim, okay? Address the claim that math still is real. Here, wait. Scrunch that down. Doink. Here we go. Yeah. That's the claim. The claim is this is going down. Is that a claim? Or is that math? I mean, that's a weird one. That's the claim. The races have been struggling under his reign. The races have been struggling under your reign. Okay, and then the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, but she's so stunning and brave and she broke the glass ceiling. How? How is it not the bestest ever? Because they're bigots. That's what it is. Icky wicky bigots everywhere. I'm just, channeling what I'm assuming is going on inside their heads, But yeah, essentially, yeah, that's exactly what is going on. That's what I think they think is going on. 2022 brings the current era of Doctor Who to a close. Yes, some would argue 2017. Some would argue quite successfully 2017 brought the current era of Doctor Who to a close. Both actor Jodie Whittaker and showrunner Chris Chibnall are set to bow out of the series in a feature-length special coinciding with the BBC centenary celebrations this autumn. Okay, I can't. I listen. Who was it? Like, he used to do Question of Sport, right? I heard people are all mad at Question of Sport because they changed the presenter. But it was not the first guy. It was the guy who took over him, Nick. I can't remember his name. Nick Hancock. I think it was Nick Hancock. Now, I saw him in stand-up in the 80s in the Comedy Store. It was the Comedy Store? Yeah, in London. Right? I went there a lot, right? That's kind of like my place I would like to go to as I was a teen. So I saw his set a lot, and he did this great set called talking about Umbongo, they drink it in the Congo, a great fruit drink from the 80s, which had a fantastic this cartoon that went Umbongo, they drink it in the Congo, the monkey, and it went on forever, right? So he did this routine where he stood up and says, "I've got it." A man, he would say, "I'll give you anything." A man in business, I'll give anything to see a man in a business suit, in a business meeting. This was the 80s. We had lots of shoulder pads and businesses. Like, stood up in front of the people he worked for. And he said, "I've got it! I've got it! Umbongo. They drink it in the Congo." And then, so this is the point that I'm getting to right here. But then, there's the boss turns around and says, "That's it! Yes! That's it!" So I imagine a similar scene happened at the BBC when Chris Chibnall came into the offices and said, okay, Mr. Chibnall, you have to understand, your ratings did this. Okay? Your ratings have done this. That's not going to do good, right? So here's what we want to do. Give you, you're planning on getting another, 6 episodes? We're going to give you 8. We're going to give you another 8 episodes, okay? Another 8 episodes, because this was so awful, and we want to see more of it. And then Chris Chibnall, much like the boss in the Umbongo story, will go, "That's it! Yes! I will do that!" So that's what we're going to see. Sacha Dhawan's going to be in it, I'm sure. It's going to just be very, very, very plot heavy, I think, it's going to be boring and annoying at the same time. So that Christian was really, really, that's his niche. Boring and annoying. He's actually like that as a human being as well. Fine. Set to the figure concerning the CP centenary celebration. Whittaker's Doctor still has some final battles to fight, and she'll be menaced by a return on some classic villains. The Sea Devils in a special airing in spring. Before the final adventure, where fans are hopeful for one last showdown with arch nemesis, the Master. Not the Master, the Master. Sacha Dhawan. See, this is the reason I like Sacha Dhawan's portrayal as the Master, even though I hated the writing of it. That he sat down and he came up with the idea of saying Master instead of Master. Right? That shows some internal thought about this, which I just don't think Jodie Whittaker has ever done about a character, because she thinks it's a children's character. It doesn't really need to be. It's like Peter Pan. I guess if you play Peter Pan, you should really think that out too. A Teletubby then, right? Teletubbies doesn't need that much nuance. I mean, K9 had more nuance, and he was a children's TV character. The Whittaker era has been wrought with controversy since her casting, which was noteworthy, as she was the first woman to be cast in the lead role in the TV show. Okay, I thought I'd say in a TV show, in the TV show. This brought a lot of bad faith detractors who believe that a man should only play the role. You are lying through your teeth, you piece of shit. It brought a lot more bad faith detractors who called everybody a bigot when they pointed out how bad this Doctor Who was. And there were people who called it right from the beginning and said, "This is political correctness gone mad. It's gonna work out badly," right? They called it correctly. I said they were wrong, and I was wrong, right? Was it the Whittaker is controversy? So that was a narrative you sold. You sold at the beginning, and that's what you've been responding to ever since. Not actually the genuine criticisms against this show, which have been just terrible. And subsequent level criticisms for the show being, I love how they put in criticisms, too woke. Really? You had a Greta Thunberg episode which had somebody running around going, "Billy!" all the way through it. Really? Too woke? You know, she wears a rainbow across her chest. That's not overly subtle now, is it? Really? What's the messaging there? God. And here's the thing. Anybody who says the word too woke, right, is like somebody who denies the Holocaust, right? You notice people say, "Oh, the Holocaust didn't really happen," blah, 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 blah. There are always the people who will say, "Oh, yeah." All the people you know will be like, "Oh, yeah, we'll be really happy if it did happen." Right? Yeah. Anybody who says too woke is somebody who wants it to be woke, right? Other fans have fairly criticised the quality of the writing over. Like, here's the thing. What are you going to put me in? You're not going to say I'm going to fairly criticise, even though I have fairly. Well, I've been a bit of a dick sometimes. Yeah, I mean, like, there was that time when I was looking at a picture of Jodie Whittaker on a video, and she's all dolled up and she's got makeup on. I was like, man, that's like putting perfume on a pig, baby. So that wasn't a fair criticism, okay? But sometimes I just got to take the piss. What can I do? I'm only human. I'm only flesh and blood. But mostly fairly criticised for the quality of the writing overseen by Chris Chibnall, and also the terrible performance of Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, bless her, and have been unsatisfied by disappointing story arcs such as The Timeless Child. Okay, not disappointed, unsatisfied. We hated it. It like decanonized Doctor Who. For an interview with Doctor Who magazine via Radio Times, blimey, it's going from outlet to outlet, isn't it? Producer Matt Stevens hit back at the curving slice against the Tinder era, of which he worked under regarding weightings. Stevens set the record straight by sliding out of his arse, okay? The era's standard ratings of 4 to 5 million were healthy for terrestrial. Okay, let's have a look at this again. Okay, let's 4 to 5 million, right? It's been 4 to 5 million for the last 2 years. Yeah, but that's 4 to 5 million. That is true. That's on your consolidated figure, right? That's on after a week of people watching it on iPlayer. It doesn't get that much of a bump, right? It gets about a little under a million bump. So it turned out that the figure that we were taking to compare it to the classic era was also bull crap. It was the overnight, which was the people who watched it live, plus another million or so from iPlayer until 2 a.m. My question is, do they double add that million or so? I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't be like, no, it can't be. I wouldn't be surprised, right? But the point is, even the Dalek's got 2 million live viewers, right? That's not 4 to 5 million. That's 2. This is called adding. Adding, Matt. Adding, right? It's 2. Not 4 to 5. 2. Fine. Okay, let's keep going, shall we? Television terrestrial. Well, for any drama on terrestrial, well, that's what you will. Here's the thing. The entire entertainment industry got together and said, we absolutely hate all bigots, which happen to be 50% of the world, which we're now going to label as bigots, right? We hate them. And we're going to put, every time we can mention how much we hate them on our TV shows, we're going to put it in, right? And then after, a few years of doing this, people said, I don't like somebody hating me when I'm trying to watch Top Gear or whatever. Like, I don't really like that. I don't like being told I'm a bigot when I'm watching EastEnders. I'm not really into that, so they stopped watching. And so those people they alienated, they still exist, right? They're still there. Those like 4 to 5 million used to be 8 to 10 million. So that other 4 to 5 million that don't watch anymore, they're still there. So you all got together and say, let's just ignore the people. Ignore them. Pretend they don't exist. Then we're doing great. I guess that's what they did. So yes, how is that said? How is lying out your ass setting the record straight, arsehole? Stephen then claimed that the discussion around Doctor Who ratings above most dramas demonstrated a strong level of interest in the show. We're interested to know how much you screwed it up. That is interesting. Stevens also aired grievance about how the show was talked about by people who have a particularly negative agenda against it. So here's the thing. This is the inverse of reality. Right? The absolute inverse of reality. To me, what's sometimes frustrating is too strong a word because I really don't give a shit. Right? So I'm not frustrated, but it's too strong a word. That when overnight figures are reported compared to previous... No, but consolidated figures. No! That never happened, you lying piece of human excrement. Oh, if I may quote Malcolm Tucker, but played by the great Peter Capaldi, you're a waste of skin. Okay? I mean, really? It's like that doesn't happen. In fact, what did happen is you compared your figures, your consolidated figures, to the live figures to make yourself not look so awful, right? Not look so terrible. So if the rating fall hasn't been as bad, let's just see the live figures for all the revived era. Let's put them out and let's see how it comes out. My guess is you ain't doing so good. You aren't going to be doing so good in that. That's what I'm thinking. Especially when you look at the way television is consumed. Yes, but people still don't watch garbage. And yeah, it was actually not a fight, a genuine conversation with somebody on Twitter, right, about the ratings. And my point was that, in the 80s during Battlefield, which was what got the lowest rating I was comparing it to, people recorded the show on video, right? A lot of people did because their mum wanted to watch Coronation Street, right? So there was a large demographic who people who recorded it and watched it later who would have been included. I think you probably get the overnights or be higher, right? I reckon Sylvester McCoy's overnights will be about 4 or 5 million. Healthy for any drama, it is, which they were cancelled for. The discussion around ratings is undoubtedly interesting in an age of streaming, where most other big shows dominating the conversation are original produced by Netflix and Disney+. Doctor Who is an outliner and still a forefront of BBC's terrestrial output before landing on its own streaming service, iPlayer. While it's true the ratings of Doctor Who have not reached the average highs that they were used to in the Tennant era or the Capaldi era. Okay, it's also true they got the lowest ratings ever, right? Yeah, maybe put it that way, right? Maybe okay. This is what it's similar to. There's a crazy news story right now that the Capitol Police, which is this new police force, this kind of secret police force that was created by the Biden government to investigate anybody who doesn't like the Biden government, right? They were caught by some, like a right-wing politician in their office in disguise, taking pictures of stuff in there and then coming back and interrogating, again in disguise, like members of staff. This is like heavy Watergate stuff. This is real heavy one. So then they didn't issue a denial, right? They said we saw. They said we saw we saw the doors open and went in to investigate. So of the claims that were made was that they entered without permission, they took pictures, and they interrogated staff in disguise. So their response was, "Oh yeah, we did go in there without permission." And they didn't talk about any of the other things, right? They didn't talk about didn't talk about the pictures, didn't talk about the interrogation, didn't talk about the discussion. And I wish I was making this up. This is absolutely true. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre, but it's completely true. So yeah, look, yeah, it is true. They haven't reached the heights under that's true. But it's also true to say they are the lowest ratings in the history of ratings, right? They are the lowest rating for Doctor Who of all time. Right? That's another true way of saying it. I would say one paints a more accurate picture than the other, right? Much in the same way the Capitol Police says, oh yeah, we just found the door open, and don't mention the espionage. Same thing here. Must be acknowledged TV rating across the board have gone down since the advent of streaming. Also, since the advent of Trump. Remember Trump, right? So what happened with Trump? Everybody in the entertainment industry lost their minds and have been proved completely wrong about everything. Even if they said, look, I think strawberry is a better flavor than banana, they've been proved wrong, because obviously banana is a better flavor than strawberry. And it always annoys me. They mix strawberry and banana flavors together. Stop with the strawberry and banana. Strawberry always overpowers the banana. The banana's the better flavor, baby. When looking at Doctor's placement and weekly charts in its audience share, the show has remained relatively consistent over the years. Yes, again, that's a way of ignoring the half of the audience you've chased away since Trump. Okay, that which is, I think, fair to say what happened. When Doctor returns to the oversight Rusty Davis, why did that happen? Do you think? Why don't they just hand over to Vinay Patel? That's what they normally do. They build up writers, within an era. They hand over. Why not Vinay Patel? Why not Marjorie Blackburn? I mean, she's stunning and brave, and everybody loves her, right? Everybody loved the space racers. That made complete sense, right? Everybody loved that episode. More of that, please. Or what about, that incredible episode where they had Byron and Mary Shelley, and they didn't have them doing debauchery. They just had them dancing quadrilles, right? How about that one? How about that? Yeah, what was that? Who wrote that one? I can't remember. Saying Alderton. Yeah, why not? No, you're bringing back Rusty Davis because you've broken it, because you've done a very bad job. Who revived the series in 2008. It'll be interesting to see, is there any shift in ratings and how the fans discuss them? Interesting. I don't know what is there a way I can flip this up vertically? Let me see. No, it still goes the wrong way. Is this one? No, that one is you share it. It doesn't let me flip it. Yeah. It's going to be the opposite of this. The app is really going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see you prove wrong again. Yeah, that will be quite interesting. I'm always interested to see you prove wrong. It's reasonable to expect a boost in the first episode of New Doctor, which coincides with the 6th anniversary, just as the Whittaker episode broke records back in 20. You piece of shit! You God! Oh man, it's just like it's the spin. Great feats in gaslighting. That's it. That's going on the thumbnail. Great feats in gaslighting. That's what this is. I always like it in the movie when they say the name of the movie, right? It's like we got to get him out, or we're all going to die hard. Great feats in gaslighting. That's what this was. Yes, this is what this is. This also surrounding the show may be more lenient due to Davis' proven credential as showrunner. Yeah, we're all thinking he won't do unrelenting shit. That is a thought going through people's head. Maybe he won't do unrelenting shit. Expecting a second, with some fans seemingly expecting a second golden age. We're expecting it not to be Chibnall, which we'll see. Listen. I don't like baked beans. I really don't like them. They make me retch, right? They make me retch. If I'm eating a bag full of dog shit for 5 years, right? I mean, full thing, and somebody else is doing baked beans, those baked beans are going to seem pretty darn good, right? That's how it works. Second golden age, man. Of course, the online discussion has gotten more volatile since the writers left his post in 2010. It's unreasonable to expect a total reverse of the current situation. It's completely reasonable to expect a total reverse of the current situation. It's completely reasonable, and you are shitting yourself to see that happen. And you're thinking nobody's going to remember, which they won't. Whoever's going to be saying this. However, it is satisfying to see key figure in production speak out publicly against a common talking point and defend the show from disingenuous criticism. He disingenuously defended the show from legitimate criticism. Oh my God. Like, really? Like, I'm sorry it didn't work out, right? I'm sorry it didn't work out. And from the same article, from the same interview, we got this piece of insanity. By the way, I'm seeing this artwork around right now. I forget the Jodie one, but I do like the all the other doctors. I don't know who did this art, but it's pretty good. Jodie, a Doctor Who producer, Matt Stevens, worked under Christian and Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor, says fans will look back kindly on this era. They never, ever, ever will. They never will. Because most of the fans of this era, and if you're a fan of this era, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say you're not like this, but most fans of this era don't like this era. They don't really care about it. Most fans of this era are like Colin Baker, right? Colin Baker got all huffy and high and mighty. How dare people not accept Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who? How dare they do that? How dare they do that? They must just because they're bigots. That's all, because women are held down some class and we're going to break that class here. So then somebody, Colin, which is your favourite episode of Jodie Whittaker? Yeah, because you like her. What's your favourite episode? And he went, I haven't seen any, but I'm looking forward to watching them. Oh, yes, yeah, please. The argument falls down completely when you watch her Doctor Who, which is unwatchable, right? It falls down completely. Comedy and fans will look back at Jodie Whittaker as a time of Doctor. Time is running out for the 13th Doctor as 2022, so blah, 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 blah. Both actor and showrunner will bow out after 31 episodes of 3 seasons. The third of which was produced under COVID safety guideline, which limited the episode count and demanded the change of structure to be a more serialized ongoing story. Which is the way Chibnall writes better, because he can't write beginning, middle, and ends, right? He can't, right? So if he just writes setup and forgets about payoff, which is basically what, like, episode 5 was, episode 6, whatever it was payoff, and it was dismal, right? Absolutely dismal. But his setup's much easier. He writes setup and then payoff. He doesn't have to worry about it. Now, you know, honestly, it being written during Corona, right? It being written during COVID, should have made it the best episodes ever. It's just the best because you don't go out. You can just sit and focus and write. You have more time. You're not going anywhere. By the way, it seems like we've decided en masse, everybody's agreed the lockdowns didn't work, right? Now we're finally able to, it's incredible. They say the science has changed. No, the science didn't change. A bunch of truckers jammed up, Canada, capital city of Canada, and honk their horns a lot, right? And they can't move them. They can't do anything with them. They can't get the trucks out because no towing firm's going to tow them out, right? They can't, and they can't get the military to. What they're doing right now is stealing the fuel, taking the fuel, making it illegal, and they're having big tantrums. But essentially, that's what happened. The polling just got too bad, and all the people on the left wing who were very, very big into lockdowns have decided they're gonna lose everything. That's what changed. The science of polling changed, not the science of Corona. But really, it should have been those lockdowns. It should have been the best written episodes ever. Blade Runner. Why is Blade Runner, generally speaking, looked at very, very well? Because it looks gorgeous. It looks like we hadn't seen before. You know why? Because there was a strike going on in Hollywood, and it was caught in limbo for like 3 to 6 months, where the people working on the models, they just kept working and putting more detail in, because I guess I got to do something. You know, that's essentially what you know, how that happened. It you know, in the most incredible, strange way. But that's how that movie got that mythic status, right? So the same thing should have been with the scripts. Also, Rusty, it was going both actor and showrunner. Okay, 31 episodes. More so the episode, they're writing it like it was a detriment. No, the era was notable for the somewhat controversial witness. Okay, we just read this. Speaking about disingenuous thing, her viewership across the run has been varied, with Whittaker's debut episode breaking records on the night, while subsequently seasons have faltered in overnight figures and been left to catch up on the, no. They faltered in general, right? It wasn't everything faltered. Fine. So in an interview, even got a picture of Chris Chibnall, Matt Stevens. It was actually in what's it going? He was actually in the article, his picture. Why don't they get that? Stevens talks about his time there. Stevens acknowledged that despite the backlash the series has received online, the majority of Doctor Who fans will look back fondly on this era. So let me ask you, Matt, what's your track record for success? Right? What's your track? By the way, this question got me banned from going to any school counselor meeting ever again. It was fantastic, right? It was like my third kid through the system, and the same idiot counselor who knew nothing, and thank God we didn't bother listening to him. They recommended that basically we just get like a crash helmet for my one kid and like a dunce hat for the other, and they're never going to be able to do anything in life. And the third one might as well keep in a box. The fourth one they didn't meet. Yeah, but so it turns out the one they want to keep in a dunce hat is just incredibly successful. She's a teacher now, and very much in demand. She's a basket case at home. She's crazy in the house, but she's very accomplished. I'm amazed, right? Why? Because we didn't listen to this idiot, right? We didn't listen to this idiot. And then the second kid finished his army service. He kept him on for a couple of years. They made him an officer. They kept throwing money at him. He didn't want it. He wanted to go to school. Like, he turned down so much freaking money. This is the one they wanted to put a crash helmet on because they thought he was going to bang his head because he was so stupid, right? And so now he's got 6 months off. He's flying to Miami to be a scuba instructor for 6 months. Man, that kid's gonna get so much action. He's an ex-Israeli scuba instructor, ex-Israeli military scuba instructor. He's not a bad-looking boy either, let me tell you. So anyway, so by the time we got to the third meeting, right, the third kid, she turned around. I can't remember. This was great. This was fun. Turned around and said, "You got to understand. This kid, he's got severe learning problems. He's never, ever going to get over it." So I went back to him and said, "So I don't want to dismiss your academic achievements and the science of the matter. I don't want to dismiss that at all because I have absolute respect for it. But let's look at the numbers, shall we? As pertaining to my family, of the 2 children that you've advised so far, you have got a 0% success rate, an absolute, or if you want to put it differently, 100% failure rate. She's like, well, you can't compare kid to kid. So I'm comparing you to you. You said this one won't be able to, and they did. You've been wrong every single time, right? Matt Stevens, you've been wrong about frickin' everything. Why do you think they're going to look back fondly? People are going to look back at this and they're going to vomit in their own bloody mouth. Oh my God, no one's looking back fondly at this, okay? That's like somebody saying, oh yeah, that time I had my leg eaten off by a bear. I look back fondly at that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Nonsense. The producer pulled up the examples of former Doctor and seasons that were perceived negatively when their episodes were airing, but have since been reappreciated within the fandom. Well, there you're talking about John Nathan Turner, Sylvester McCoy, and the Colin Baker era. I think Peter Davison got out of the real lambasting of that time. So here's the thing. People watched Doctor Who in those times. I watched Colin Baker. I watched Sylvester McCoy because I love Doctor Who. I didn't watch it because I felt that Colin Baker was breaking a glass ceiling. I didn't watch it because I felt it was moving society forward. And knowing that it wasn't, right? That's it. And I didn't pretend to watch it because I thought it was a movie. That's who the majority of the fans of this era are, right? I'm sorry to say it, that's just who they are. The majority of fans, they are people who are not really that interested. So you're not going to get anybody looking back fondly. Yeah, people who watched this weren't engaged with it. Nobody's coming into it. No one's looking at this fondly. You are not comparable to any other era. So every Doctor gets it. Every showrunner. I love Stephen Moffat's reaction when Russell T Davies was announced. Said RTD must go. Yeah, that's what we lived through. The JNT must go, right? And he has probably no idea what it's referring to. God, I can't. Am I going to read through the whole thing? I thought it was so witty because there's always someone waiting to have a pop. No! We were all waiting to support you, you bleeding moron! I was waiting to go, this was great. And I was like, ooh, this isn't good. The great thing, we have freedom of speech. I don't! I was shut down by being called a racist and a bigot and a sexist by saying the writing was awful, and what's with all this weird political platforming? Why is there a Donald Trump light in a boring episode about giant spiders that aren't even threatening? All right? And that's why I was called a bigot and thrown out. I bet people thrown out of Facebook group after Facebook group for just saying that and called bigot upon bigot. No. The freedom of speech was only on your side of the fence, and you kept guarding it. Why? Because you didn't want any criticism. Why did you not want any criticism? Because what you were doing was unwatchable garbage. That's why. Oh, the reason why that people don't want you to talk is because they know they're wrong. They know they're wrong, and the worst thing in the world for these losers is to hear somebody say you're wrong. Yeah, in a way that they can't deny it. They hate it. Have you ever thought of not being wrong? Have you ever thought of that instead? Look, Matt, have you thought, maybe have a bit of humility and if you accept you can be wrong, that stops you being wrong so much, right? But yeah, I don't think you can accept that. It's not like it used to be. Well, this wasn't like it used to be, right? Stephen's comments are fairly measured and do match up with the history of the show's fandom. Only if you're a delusional, lying arsehole. Whittaker's era and her doctor have received some explicitly vitriolic outrage from a loud sect of fandom. No, the loud sect of fandom were her fans that gatekept and kept everybody out who was white male that didn't believe that penises could be bloody female. Oh, and we're fine with people calling penises female. Just utter nonsense. The doctor should never be played by women. I think I have one viewer who, or maybe one or two viewers who comments who believe that, and I don't disagree with them because what I think Stevens, Chibnall, and Whittaker have done a lot to prove that person's point. I don't agree, right? I think the doctor could have been played by a woman, but not this way. Most other fans have been frustrated by the backlash, by this backlash, either due to their love of the current era. Not many of those. No, it's the love of the messaging of the current era, or concern that it was drowned out genuine good faith criticisms of writing. No, you drowned out all genuine good faith criticisms, all of you. Yeah, and that's why you heard us shout so bloody loudly, because people don't like to be called freaking bigots, right? Former doctors such as Conor Baker and McCoy were often thought of unfavourably. Yeah, now Whittaker's come, they've gone way up in everybody's estimation. Mainly due to the poor writing of the show. Not McCoy, mate. I'm sorry. I would say more often than not, you get an all-time classic with McCoy. And even season 24, which was ropey, and certainly very weak stories. I still have more forgiveness for it because now I see what they were doing, what they were trying to do, right? Doing writing, fans have not only appreciated the performance of the stories, but ancillary have given them given life to the characters, and the order plays from Big Finish being beloved in particular. Yeah, listen, do it. Do Jodie Big Finish. Let's see how it goes. And they're going to. They're absolutely. I think when they do Jodie Big Finish, it'll probably be another nail in the coffin of Big Finish, because people are just not going to buy the classic stuff that much. Or to be even reprised as the time goes on, such as Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, yeah, again, the reason that it's looked at fondly now is because it's because the sequel trilogies came and they were so awful it made the prequels look better, right? Same. Yeah, Jodie made Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker a lot better. Or Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man movies. No, they liked Andrew Garfield because it was finally a movie we could see without the same woke platforming nonsense that goes all the way through Doctor Who. God, okay, so I can't do anymore. No, stop. Yeah, great feats in gaslighting. That's what this segment's going to be. Plus, John Bishop has some regrets. Not for the right things, but has some regrets nonetheless. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.